Hey, today I want to talk about uh, just creating a guitar loop. I know a lot of people create loops with MIDI controllers and stuff, but I've talked to people and they only know like a couple of chords on their acoustic guitar or electric guitar or even the bass and stuff. They can only play, one or two things. And when you're recording, it's so much easier if you can work with loops. So what I want to do is, like, if you can just play along with the metronome, you can pretty much get this done. You can play your little guitar, just strum those three things. You don't have to do the whole entire recording. This will be as simple as playing as looping anything, just like you do with a MIDI controller. So what I've done is I've made I've made just a little drum track so I can follow along, because if you watched another video I've made, I don't really like to play along with a metronome, but this serves the same purpose. So let's listen to that. It's so easy, so basic, and it sounds poppy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I'm going to play, and we're going to make it into a loop so I can just loop it instead of playing it for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, because the song, or you can just use it for your verses, and then for your choruses make a different loop. So like with today's digital stuff, everybody knows you can copy and paste. So I'll be playing something like this. I'll make up anything. Something like that. I'll try to do something like that for the loop. But this is how we'll do it. You will go down to this, it says the cycle region. That's what it's called, but it looks like a loop. Little arrows are going over. And then your yellow marker will come up. And usually you need to zoom in. And you have to play your instrument to determine how long your loop is going to be. So I'm going to start playing. I'm going to start playing. I'm going to turn this thing off to see how long my loop needs to be. So it looks like I'm going to be ending it somewhere around there. So I'm going to turn my cycle region, or the loop thing I like to say, back on, and that is where you're gonna keep that on while you're recording. That's the secret with this. If you have a different audio workstation, digital audio workstation, you have no there's not going to be really anything different. You need to be able to find something like this, because if I'm doing this with Garageband, you can do this with anything. This is just so simple to do. This is creating a loop with real instruments. You can do this with vocals, you can do this with anything. But the key is playing it. The key is playing it perfectly. And I'm going to show you like multiple ways that how we can mess the loop up, how we can improve the loop, how we can just make it sound crappy or good, or kind of sloppy, or how we can make it sound really loopy. That sounds funny, like loopy, whatever, but we can actually make it sound like a digital loop. And you might want that for some sounds, but you might not, because I think it sounds too much like a loop, and I don't like that. When you're playing a guitar or like a a piano, you want it to sound real, like there's actually someone back there and not computer made music. So unless you're going for that sound, you know, everybody's music is different. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna record it. And also, when you're recording a loop, you need to go to Control, have your metronome turned on. And you don't have to if you're playing along with a little a beat like I am, but have count in checked. Let me show you what's going to happen if it's not checked. I'm going to hit record, and look, it just started recording on me. And how was I ready for that? You weren't. So you're going to hit count in. So now the metronome is going to click 4 times. Then I'm going to be ready. And you have to start exactly on time. I would show you if I don't. I'm trying my best to start exactly on time. Okay, now we're going to listen. Do you hear how like digitally it sounds? And I did not play the loop correctly. And this is how you're going to tell if it's a good loop, by the end, because it's obviously it's cycling, it's looping. By the end, when it comes back to the beginning. So in another way, I mean, this is how we can improve our loops. Towards the very end of your loop, I'm talking about like the last couple, I mean, it's like milliseconds. I don't know how to describe it, but the very end, I could be doing this. Like, let's say, I can add something in there, so I can go. See how I add something in there to make it sound like we're going into another one. So it sounds like there's somebody playing instead of it so digital. Let's try it that way. Now see, because I started playing during the second one, because I was getting so excited playing the loop, a number 2 came up. That means you can use take 2, or and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to take 1. This way I played, as you can see through the sound waves, I played through the loop. So we're going to hear how that sounds. I don't think I started correctly, or I messed up in the middle, but I'm just trying to get the point across on the video. Let's hear. Can you tell the difference? Now, after we get that, if you still have a pet peeve of this one, you would delete unused takes, and you're done. Then we would just loop it. We'll drag that as many times as we want. And we've just made a real instrument loop. So we can take our loop region off. Another good thing about this, we can move this, and that's just going to keep playing something over and over again. So if you just want to hear one thing over and over again when you're mixing or something, so I hope everybody that watched this got something out of it and has a good day.